right, thank you everyone for coming today. We'd like to start it off with a moment of silence for those that we lost to this disease. And to start us off today is the mayor.
Okay. Good morning, everybody. Morning. So, we've got our cameras here that are they're going Facebook Live, going to be on local TV, the newspaper, but everybody else is behind the cameras. So I'm going to ask all of you, so that everybody watching at home knows how important this is to Fall River, to actually come behind us here next to the flag, because we're here for a flag raising. And if everybody could just join us over here, everybody that came out this morning, this is a great turnout. It's a great crowd of people that really have an incredible story to tell. There we go. All around the flag, great. Now, this is a flag raising. This is a flag raising. All right, well, on behalf of the city of Fall River, I want to thank everybody that came out this morning for this very important flag raising. We are here for Overdose Awareness Month, and our flag will be raised here at City Hall, this purple flag, to remind everybody in the city to take a moment of silence, to say a prayer, to remember a loved one that we've lost to this incredible disease that continues to ravage the lives of so many here in the city of Fall River, in Bristol County, and across the country. It's an issue that we continue to combat with our partners in government, our partners in the nonprofit community, and of course our volunteers and those that have lost a loved one, and you can see many of them represented here behind me. Just thank you to every single person that's here today. You are making an impact. We might not be able to quantify it on paper, how many lives have been saved, but there's no question that the different partners that have come together throughout the city for numerous years have really made an impact and a difference. Saving people's lives, being there for somebody in need. Absolutely, give them a round of applause, absolutely. Saving people's lives, being there for somebody in need, helping people cope with the loss of a loved one. It's just an incredibly personal thing that people go through when this happens to their family. And it's said many, many times, you can go anywhere in the city of Fall River, and it's not just Fall River, you can go to Brockton, you can go to Boston, you can go to any community, towns, neighborhoods. This disease does not see color, does not see wealth, does not see anything. It can really hurt the lives of so many, and it has. So these people are making a difference each and every day. Without them, the impact would not be as great. We have work to do. We continue to do that work. There is no giving up until we can beat this disease of drug addiction here in the city of Fall River. And we're going to do that with the help of all these wonderful people, the wonderful volunteers. So just thank you. God bless each and every one of you. Thank you so much for what you do each and every day, from the nonprofit community, to the police and fire department, to the elected officials, to the volunteers, and to the families. God bless each of you. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker, 2 years ago, I lost my best friend. He was a great guy, a great father, and his parents are here today to shed a few words about that. Mr. Tavares and Mrs. Tavares.
Well, I can start off by saying that yesterday afternoon, Nikki showed up at our house and asked if you were going to attend the recovery gathering. I says I am, but she also picked it up and says, "Are you going to make a speech?" And I said, "No, I can't do that. For me to talk in front of a group of people, it's very difficult." So I finally, during the night, which I wasn't sleeping, wrote up a speech, and I says it's better that I do it rather than not do it. So here I am, and here's what I got to tell you. It's a similar situation, what addiction does to you, because our son was a victim. I get it. I just got to remember to keep it up to my mouth, right?
By the way, you're doing great.
It ain't like a cone of ice cream, right? We lost our son November 2nd, a year and 8 months ago. He was a loving, caring father, a great person, very kind-hearted. He was well-liked by many people. We never imagined that his life would end like it did. But we were powerless to stop his addiction. He was 34 years old and has a 13. He has a 13-year-old daughter, our granddaughter. He went to several treatment detox centers and fought very hard to beat the disease. The final results was death. He lived with us in a room downstairs. And when he came home that particular day, an hour later we went downstairs to wash clothes. He was on the floor all blue and purple. It's a sight we will never forget. She yelled out a scream. It was a scary scream. Of course, we called 911 right away, and I tried to pump his chest and blow in his mouth until they arrived. Words could never express how much we missed him and the after effects it has done to us. And his daughter and the people who loved him. My wife and I are here to support those who are still struggling with addiction, and people like Nikki Fontaine is a remarkable person in convincing people that addiction will never get you anywhere. She has helped many people. People like our mayor, state representatives, and many other people. We say thank you for being all in supporting people who are in need of help with addiction. Thank you for listening to me. It's just one example of the many, but our lives are not the same. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing that with everyone. And there's many more. As we know, each day in the city we lose more. Right now, even though we're putting so many funds and all the great organizations that are here, it's still the fight of our lives. So we appreciate all your hard work. We wanted to end on a positive note, so we have someone here who has gone through overdosing and worked with Project Reconnect, and he's here in recovery today. Mike Aruda.
Go ahead, Mike.
First and foremost, I try not to dwell on the negative in recovery and when I do things like this, so you'll have to bear with me when I try to throw in a little bit of humor and whatnot with it. But before I introduce myself, I'd like to first thank Nikki Fontaine for asking me to do this today. I can't show enough appreciation for what she does with Project Reconnect, the city's opioid task force, and so much more. The mayor, all city councils that we have, everybody here in the city. And I'd just like to thank everyone for taking the time to come out today and also hear a bit about my story with addiction. My name is Michael of House Aruda, second of his name, the prize prince of the family. For those that know me well, my name is Rudy and I'm addicted to Game of Thrones. I'm also a father to the most perfect 11-year-old boy. Michael of House Aruda, third of his name, and breaker of little girls' hearts all throughout the kingdom of Fall River. I'm a son of two wonderful parents, Michael of House Aruda, the first of his name, and king of his house, and his ex-queen Anna, now of House Di Gregorio. I'm a stepson to two great people that make both of my parents very happy. I'm a brother to a younger brother by 2.5 years, and a younger sister by 17 years. I'm a nephew to an awesome uncle who I watched my first football game with, and I'm sorry New England fans for the jab, but fly Eagles fly. I'm also a grandson. I'm also a grandson to a loving grandparent, and was even a great-grandson who was able to watch my son be born as a great-great-grandchild. I'm the first of my generation, the prize child with brains and the ability to do anything. The kid on his bike, the captain of the football team, the leader of the crowd, Mr. Popular even. Most importantly, I'm a human being, and I'm an addict in recovery. Today I'm proud of that distinction. I'm an addict in recovery because I made a choice to use drugs at a young age. A choice that before I knew it led to a full-blown addiction. Off and mostly on, Jesus, well into my 30s. Sure, it wasn't all bad. I mean, I was cool. I just had to have a little fun. Running and gunning, thinking to myself, it's no big deal. I won't get addicted. I've got this. I, in fact, did not have it. Not at all. It was a steady regression from being that prized first child of my generation into an addict at his lowest point. Started as just weekend fun, having a few beers with friends, yet slowly but surely escalated to abusing drugs, any drug that I could get my hand on. I actually considered myself too educated to fall into the disease of addiction. I was too tough to let a drug run my life. I said, let me tell you, I could have been as smart as Einstein or as tough as Tyson, and I'd have lost myself in addiction just the same. I thought myself better than the average junkie. I believed I could function. I believed when I told myself it wasn't a problem. I believed myself when I said I'd never touch heroin or a needle. I was wrong in so many ways. By my late 20s, I was addicted to IV heroin use. So then I began to convince myself that I was too strong to have an overdose, that I could never be one of the statistics. I was never gonna die from my drug use. My ticker was too strong. Fast forward dozens of overdoses later, and I've overdosed for the last time. I flatlined in the bathroom of my mother's home. Of all the tears shed through all my overdoses, this time it was different. There was no crying. How sad it is that my family, who loves me dearly, had become so desensitized to all of it. So used to it as though it was our normalcy. And sadly, it really was. Imagine your younger brother seeing you dead. This is a man who manages not to cry at funerals. He'll sit and wait until he's by himself before he sheds his emotions. And yet he was in tears trying to save my life as I laid there. Imagine your teenage sister being woken from her sleep and running away in tears because she didn't want to sit there and watch you die. Now imagine your mother, almost stone-faced at this point, because she's already accepted your death. So I asked myself how I'd feel if it were my son, or if I could witness it happen from my mother's eyes. It wasn't long before I realized we can't even begin to imagine what goes through their minds. As they fight for your life, you slowly realize when you come back that you're no longer the son to be proud of. You're no longer the big brother to look up to. No longer the father my son needed me to be. It was absolute defeat at this point. You know, I've said this before and I'll say it again. As an addict, I did not want to die. I just forgot how to truly live. I was finally ready to admit my problems, seek help, and go to war for myself and my loved ones. It only took a few dozen overdoses, a ton of visits from Nikki, and 5 years on and off in recovery before I finally did it. 6 months later, I speak to you as an addict in recovery. It has in no way been easy, and I fight a battle every day. I'm furthering my education to work with addiction. I'm in a relationship with the most amazing and supportive woman ever, whom I've known more than half of my life. I'm now a better father, son, brother, friend, and so on. I am proud to be an addict in recovery, as it's been about so much more than being clean. I have truly improved as a person because of it. I am worth it, and I promise you every other addict is as well. I'd like to thank you all for listening. I beg you, if you or someone you love has a problem with addiction, please reach out. The help is there, the facilities are in place. We have people like Nikki doing everything that they can. It will not be easy, but it will be worth it. It's a war every day, but one anybody is capable of winning. We all need to remember those who fought the good fight. If you feel you have no one, come catch me at the local facility. I will do whatever I can to give back what was so freely given to me. In closing, I'd like to leave you with a little bit of a quote I heard once. Once a pickle, always a pickle. There's no being a cucumber again. Well, that may be true. We'll always be addicts. There's no going back, but there's also no reason you can't be the sweetest damn pickle there is going forward. Again, my name is Michael Aruda Jr. I am a father, I am a son, I am a brother, and I am a friend. I am not anonymous. I am not just a statistic. I am a human being, and I'm worth it.
Good job, Mike. We're so proud of you. Now, if we could all join in saying the Serenity Prayer together, we're going to raise the flag. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Thank you all for coming out, and please remember Overdose Awareness Day is August 31st, and you can submit your pictures to recoverfallriver@gmail.com. Thank you, everyone.